Hi, Shu. My name's Daphne. I'm one of the essay correctors here at IELTSpodcast.com. Thank you for sending in your sample essays for correction. Well done. They are very difficult topics you've done here. And that's great to hear from you, and really good idea to get some feedback that can help you improve before you do your exam. So this is a line graph, yep, and you've rightly summarized in your beginning here what this is all about. Now, I think where I can guide you is really on the organization of both these tasks. So you need to put here, you need to tell me what it is. You need to say this is a line graph, which illustrates six different kinds of energy, or the trends in six different kinds of energy from 1980 projected up till 2030. Now, don't use the same words as they use there. So I'm not talking about consumption, I'm talking about trends. So you can do the kind of paraphrasing, but your first little line here should paraphrase what this is all about, okay? Then you need to have a statement starting overall. So overall, there's a significant difference between the consumption in petrol and oil, coal and natural gas, and then those three. And there's a significant difference between them, with these three as a much smaller consumption than petrol and gas, even into the future. So that would be your kind of overall paragraph. You don't need to have on the one hand, on the other hand, because this is what we have in an essay. This is not an essay, you're reporting the facts. So you don't even want this. We can conclude from the graph that can all go. You should start with conventional fossil fuels. So start here. This would be your beginning. Conventional fossil fuels have been the major source of energy since from the 1980s, and consumption has grown ever since and keep going, and is predicted to grow, or to continue growing sharply into the future. Okay. That is a very significant point, because it would be nice if this was higher in the future. But so you need to be using words like significantly, dramatically, continue steadily, or so you need to do your prediction bit there. All three in the categories, including petrol, and natural gas, saw their consumption. I think, I've seen her. I think you need to go to separate between up till now and then in the future. So I would go saw their current consumption above 20 quadrillion units per year, and so then you make your future. This is anticipated that with coal, it will go that much higher, or it will increase to 25 by 2030, and with the others it will increase from 30 up till 35 up till 47, something like that. So again, separate what was in the past from the prediction. So yes, here this is continue for both petrol and oil as well as coal. Give me some numbers here. I want the numbers. Take out that bit. Well, natural gas will experience stagnation. Yes, that's a very important point to mention. And then give me the number at around X, whatever it is, barrels or units. Okay, so you need to have some more detail in here with some more numbers. You don't need the other hand. Start with here, though. This is interesting. Although a notable increase in interest in some forms of alternative energy has been observed, it currently this is really nice. So give me the number here. So it started at below, although, I mean, if you imagine it started at 3 and it's gone to 9, has actually tripled. It doesn't look like very much, but actually it is. So maybe we should say that. Yes, no significant increase in the future. Well, I think we disagree with that, because it's actually tripling. 3 times more than what it was. So I think you should be able to comment on that. Hydropowers, yes. Declined. I think that is interesting. And again, here for this one, there is no growth, no particular growth is expected in that. So I think there's a little bit more you can say on that and keep it kind of mathematical, factual. You don't need any of the essay bits in here. Okay, so this essay is a very tough essay. I'm not surprised you found it hard to think of things to say. I think you did very well on this. What I was going to say in that comment about what do I write is you've written a lot. You don't need to write so much. You're on 420 words. The guideline's 250, 320 is fine. 280 is fine if that's what you can think of to say. It doesn't really matter. It's better to write it beautifully and perfectly rather than writing on and on and on and not having time to check it. But I think your arguments are good. You've got some nice ideas here. So I'll begin by saying I disagree with the idea. Okay, so for me, this introduction doesn't work too well. I think you want to be starting with a big statement. So let's go back to this. Every year, several languages die out. Some people think it's not important because life will be easier. To what extent do you agree or disagree? So you'll put here something like, despite the fact that nowadays our global world is dominated by certain languages such as English, Spanish, and Chinese, there are many other languages which are extremely important. Start with something like that, and then you can put your comment about some people think it's not important, but we're not going to say that. We may say exactly this is good, what you said may or might not be true, but it's easier. So you could say some people believe that it would be easier if others did, but other people disagree. So you've done nicely here. You've paraphrased. Try not to use the same words again. This, I would save that for later. I wouldn't put that in the introduction. I would suggest that you say this essay, give your opinion, so opinion now, and then introduce the essay. So this essay will discuss various ideas, or both sides of the argument, whatever, with examples from. Okay, and tell me where your examples are going to come from. So I don't know when you're doing your exam, but I think you might be interested in having a look at the course we offer. This is this really, really good online course, especially guides you on the task to how to organize these essays and how to do them. And we have a module on just doing the introduction and getting it absolutely right. We give you a really good template to work from so you can get your essays into this template. So have a look at that. So first of all, let us take a look at, now this is too chatty for this kind of essay, so I would take out that. So first of all, life, there is no doubt that life would be very, very different if there were only a handful of languages left in the world. Okay, something like that. And then tell me what would be different about it. So yes, tell me what would be different, and then you could carry on here. It's true that in such a case, it might be easier for someone who knows one of the remaining languages to travel around and communicate with others, given that more people would share particular languages. But it could also, probably, also pose challenges to communities where the language has been recently adopted. Okay, as we all know, language is the medium for most of the history in a particular geographical region. Join this together, and once that language that was used to document life and events in the past is no longer spoken, it becomes considerably more difficult to preserve and spark interest in the local history. Yeah, good, okay. Really, really nice. Actually, don't join it together because that's very long. This is very nicely written. Your grammar is super. Lots of complex sentences going on. I like your once the language. This is really nice, and you've got nice conditionals go on. I don't really like the chatty bits. This is too familiar for this kind of essay. So anything like that has to go because that's not very academic. But it's a nice argument and very, very nice though. I like that. So moreover, the issue of languages dying out goes deeper than losing the ability to understand the past. because, link that, it touches some core beliefs in modern society, such as diversity and autonomy, singular. Evidently, language is largely responsible for the cultivation of a uniform and distinct identity shared by the members of a community. Yes, really good. It's the foundation of most nation states, and within nation states, political divisions. Okay, I'm not sure how that connects. Maybe give me a little bit more to explain how that connects up. The extinction, spelling here. Oh, excuse me. The extinction of languages will likely result in the struggle of locating oneself in the world for those who have recently adopted a language that was foreign to the land. I'm not sure what you mean about adopted a language. Maybe you should say been obliged to learn. Learn or to use, something like that. Not quite sure, because you said that twice. Not quite sure what you mean about that. It was foreign to the land. But diversity in customs and the ideas of originally heterogeneous groups will inevitably subside, therefore turning society into a homogeneous one. As a result, it might actually be easier to rule such a society. Yeah. With unifying agendas and policies, hence less local diversity or less local differences, maybe, or less demands for independence. After all those years, this is what we want in the end, though. Oh, careful. Watch out with questions and watch out. I'm not sure about that. Stay academic, okay? This is not you having a little talk with the examiner. It's really important that you stand back from the whole thing. You are presenting facts, you're presenting ideas, you're giving examples. We only want your opinion. Indicate it to me at the beginning and then put it in here again at the end. But I don't really want it all the way through here. I want your points, your strong points here. To conclude, the prospect of the extinction of language is not a particularly thrilling one, since one does not necessarily live an easy life when that comes true. Spelling, scary, dystopian sound. Yes, I wouldn't put scary, terrifying, or unsettling. Yes, okay. I get your point. I completely get your point. I think that let me sum up rather than going around in circles here. Your essay needs a little bit of work on organisation. It's a little bit unclear where you're going, but you've got some fantastic ideas. You've got some great grammar, really nice vocabulary. So it's really just the task achievement and the cohesion and coherence, which I think you need a little bit of help on. And I think, honestly, if you have a look at the course, you might find that really useful. If you have time, that would be great. But great work. There's lots and lots of good stuff here. Well done.